rating slightly better than EG in game. I'm looking at this draft, and I like the Tinker last pick. It was definitely interesting and probably surprised Team Secret, but still, Team Secret have this nice all-around draft that you're going to see a lot. I mean, very natural pickups through and through. As for Shadow Fiend, you've got a Universe Darkseer, and even the Anti-Mage Arteezy knows this hero, obviously, through and through. Everyone does. And it's going to be a pretty hard counter, potentially, to the Tinker.
And the trash talk begins between the teams.
You wouldn't expect anything less than Arteezy facing up his former team.
There's already a little bit of tit and tat going back and forth between inside the lobby, but it really is father versus son, Fear versus Arteezy in so many different ways. And, well, Zai, maybe not exactly where he wants to be, as he's down here on the bottom lane, being stalked up, and there's your attack from Aoi, just to slow him down with the Orb of Venom, but they won't get in range for Fear to get the Storm Bolt off in time, so there is no real follow-up to this. But let's have a bit of a peek through our lanes. So it will be an off-lane Universe Clockwork, as you said. It couldn't be any more comfortable for him. Arteezy already had a really great performance with his Anti-Mage earlier. He'll be taking that role into the safe lane and being babysat by Kuro, who is that role as Rubik. And that puts S4 in towards the mid lane up against Sumail's Tinker. We'll have a roaming Aoi Bounty Hunter, and then we're capping off the EG lineup. PPD on his ever-so-saving Dazzle, and Fear in his signature role as Sven up against the offlane Zai Darkseer. Puts Puppey onto Keeper of the Light, and S4 is the final hero, and that will be middle lane as the Nevermore, or Shadow Fiend. Sorry, I went too play.
Early on, take a look at what Universe does. He managed to get the perfect positioning in order to get the Cogs block off into this small little area with two different creeps. That's pretty much perfect timing there from Universe. You can't really get much more than that with an offlane Clockwork on Radiant's side. He does it beautifully, and the lane will push into his
trouble.
favor.
Bottom lane, the Storm Bolt's going to come in. They're trying to get around him for the heal bomb, and there it is. Zai's in trouble. And First Blood, spelled by evil geniuses. That's what they tried to do previously when he was just walking down the lane. Never underestimate the power or damage of heal.
Yeah, and this is something that, while I was mentioning earlier that the Tinker may be countered out by the Anti-Mage, obviously he's a heavy intelligence, high mana pool hero who can be potentially blown up by that Anti-Mage mana void. The Sven could have a very good game this time around. Fear last time was kind of just completely trashed when it came to like laning up against a Viper. That was just a laning phase decision that they decided to basically make him the 3 position, and because of that he didn't manage to have that much of an impact.
Universe top lane picked up, thrown back. Arteezy's done all the hard work. Kuro doesn't have an extra level, but with a range attack, that'll be enough. Arteezy blinks forward. Then Revenge built by Secret, while S4 in middle lane. Laser and rocket build coming in from the Tinker. Honey's gonna have a grin on his face after watching this.
And after that, you've got AUI immediately being able to counter the counter that was placed down. Now Team Secret are very exposed in that middle lane, and Puppey may just have to throw down another counter. We're sure enough, they're gonna go for it. It's already taken out instantly, using the tangos to eat away that one. But still, S4 feeling that pressure, and now they're going to go in. Another tango eat of the counter ward. Puppey's going to be forced into buying more, but he doesn't have the gold for it.
No, he does not. But at least they can control the runes for the moment. As the top one will be taken out by the Rubik, but the double damage goes into a Darkseer. That's not really going to help him much at all. And on the middle lane, S4, it's just a horrendous lane for him when you think about it. You get lasered down as it's a level 2 laser, so your hero blind duration is down to 3.5. But you have this blind, which your max is 4.5 seconds. The Shadow Fiend cannot attack a unit. He has to use his razors, but then Sumail, laser, rockets again, level 2, the damage is there. It's a simple chip, and all it needs is just that little bit of assistance to come in from the Bounty Hunter, and that means Aoi's also leeching out the levels when this happens.
Yeah, and with the Tinker rapidly getting ahead in experience over this SF, his nukes are just going to overwhelm SF's HP pool every single time he comes down to lane. Now, the SF still has plenty of opportunities. He's one of the most known mids to be able to make a comeback after a heavy amount of ganks, purely because his farming speed is insane with those 3 different raises available to him. The problem is, he still doesn't have, he needs to get level 3 Shadow shadow rays before he's independent of his physical right clicks. Right now, he still needs to actually right click to get CS, and this is where the laser is going to hurt him quite heavily.
He does have one upside though, and that's the fact that the Darkseer Zai doesn't have to come off the off lane. If Zai was having a really hard time, he'd probably be looking to take a lot of the stacks. Like Puppey's already worked himself up a triple stack inside the Dire jungle. Oh, hello bottom lane. But Fear can't get to him in time. He did pop the war cry, but it wasn't enough. But yeah, you don't have to actually try and contest, like, fight over your own jungle for the stack. So if S4, if they feel like he needs it, they'll just send him up there to take it. But Aui, he's on the hunt. He'll be watching this very closely. So Puppey's going to be careful as he throws out the Illuminate. At least he hits Aui on the way through. Doesn't get a single last hit. So Aui doesn't leech anything, but he does at least ping out the triple stack. And now, in fact, he's going to take out quite a large chunk of experience. But yeah, he was sitting on the tip of it. So he does take the damage.
Yeah, if AUI actually wasn't hit by that first Illuminate Blast, he probably would have gone for the attempted go on the Keeper's Light. Even if he couldn't kill him, he'd actually at least force him back to Fountain.
Aui, well, that sentry was down for the Dire side. Kuro's right next to him, but obviously he's got no idea that Aui is standing next to him. And look, PPD even rotates him mid, so there's 3 heroes now arriving in for EG up against S4.
And with the Bounty Hunter potentially being able to start out right next to an ally, they can actually get a double nuke there. The right click, the shuriken, as well as a shadow wave heal. Could be a decent amount of burst damage, but they decide against it. He just heals up AY a little bit, and he will go back to roaming into the Keeper of Light's jungle. Now notice, because of the fact that they're actually rotating the Rubik around quite a bit, and they also have the Keeper of the Light who's focusing more on jungling than anything else, yes, our Darkseer isn't getting much, or he's getting a lot of experience in that bottom lane, but so is Universe.
Yeah. And the Darkseer with levels we saw, well, sorry, Zai having a great old time, Universe with the Clockwork, yeah, they're both 4 and 4. And both of these heroes, like, it's a little bit more essential that the Darkseer finds 4 levels, and yep, he's pretty low, but S4, he actually hit the raise from that range while on top lane Arteezy trying to survive against the battery assault, unable to do so. So it is a call for a core trade-off.
I mean, I think that's almost worth it. Losing the Tinker is a huge loss, but then being able to get an Anti-Mage kill so early on to this game is huge for Evil Geniuses. I can't believe they found that opening. S4 obviously very happy with the amount of experience they picked up from that kill. Will now jump into that level 6 and will start snowballing with that farm, whether he's able to utilize the lane that much or if he feels enough pressure, obviously, to go into the jungle and farm that one up. Puppey may just have, both Puppey as well as Universe may just have to give that up because S4 is the highest priority farm right now behind Arteezy.
Yeah, they need him to be strong. And well, he's probably not even going to get the 6-minute rune on bottom. He's on top of Aui, but who's going to get the rune? And it actually goes to the Shadow Fiend. But Aui starts his attack. Race number 1, race number 2. Sentry blows down. He can see him perfectly. Just race number 3 does the work at S4. Punishing Aui on that Bounty Hunter.
Very greedy play from AY, and he gets punished quite heavily for it. Now, the S4 Shadow Fiend is getting pretty out of control now. It's going to be up to Universe as the next one to step up to the bat. Bounty Hunter provided pressure for the first 5 minutes, but he can't really do much now. Now he needs to actually try and get his level 6 in order to start utilizing that track goal to help Evil Geniuses get ahead in kills. And it's going to be Universe, once he gets that hook shot, who's going to be able to put pressure on S4 instead.
Again, the counter of the Sentry Ward in mid. The battle for the Invis Vision is real. But obviously, you can always just come in and get rid of it if you know where it is. Puppey still farming up. Just playing around with the Mud Golems for now. And Aui, in fact, leaves an Observer Ward behind. In fact, Puppey throws down one of his Sentry Wards so he can see when Aui comes in range. Now, Aui is running the edge of the vision, and he moves over. Universe does not have Hookshot. In fact, he is 1 creep away from having Hookshot, but he gets in range of the battery assault over on Puppey with the rocket and the extra attack. They will find the damage, but Arteezy, yeah, he's not going in any deeper. Universe will bottle up and back it up. There's no way Arteezy can find a kill there.
Note also that Clockwork did go for the maxed out battery assault build. Sometimes you see a 2nd level in Rocket Flare just to help ensure easy CS, but he's facing an Anti-Mage. He's low on mana anyway, so he wants to max out the kill potential, particularly against such a high value target like the SF.
It's probably the only way you can get an advantage back inside the lane, finding pickoffs like this. Aui stalking S4. Obviously with the Observer Ward, he's already got the extra information. And S4 might be watching himself very closely too to see this experience tick. Because when it does happen, you can work it out. Bottom lane, Arteezy's pick up, Fear being dragged back, gets a stun on Zai, but that's not going to save his life. Support from PPD. He was just a little bit too far away. I don't know if he was going up to actually look for the 8-minute rune, but Secret found the perfect gap in EG's defense.
Yeah, that's the nighttime advantage of it.
Oh, hook shot.
Oh, no.
Actually missed it. They started a duel from a high ground to low ground, but Universe with a haste rune. He's running up to S4 with a battery assault, and then with a double TP and says, this isn't a great idea. Then realized, wait, no, it's Zai who came in. Kuro, the second one, he oversees welcome with a telekinesis to pick up.
All he wants to do is force S4 back behind that tier 1 tower where AY will be able to strike with that level 3 shuriken.
Radiant's top tower
Would get it now, but it was Zai's
Baby sitting in so close. Yeah. And the bottle's just arrived too, so he's not going to find the damage required to get the kill. And meanwhile, Arteezy almost finished that tier 1 tower on top lane. Universe will come in, and Arteezy, well, he's got the choice to contest for it. The fortification will be there, stopping the catapult from getting the last hit. And there goes that tier 1 tower being denied. Arteezy says it's just not worth his farm, because he's also trying to stay on time for that Battle Fury as the Anti-Mage. It's the whole goal of him. He's meant to be bigger than the Tinker ever will be.
Yeah, you're hoping to look at maybe a 15-minute Battle Fury as kind of average timing after your treads. And Arteezy is definitely on mark for that one.
It's a really nice pickup from Kuro. He just stole level 1 Shadow Walk. Obviously not great as level 1, but it'll give him the ability to try and find someone inside the Radiant jungle, and that can set up for a gank with Puppey and Zai. And in fact, they're actually going to bring in extra help. S4's moving down, and this is not visible by any Radiant ward. And in fact, if Kuro walks around the corner now, he'll probably scout at Universe. There's a lot of support coming down to Zai. Hook shot in. Puppey's going to start the Illuminate. Already used it. In fact, it's on cooldown. Fear triggering the God Strength. The cogs are up, and with the bolt, number 1, the Illuminate. Oh, the timing! Perfect timing. Universe still alive. The 6 touches are there, but the attack from S4 will hit its mark. The tracks are up from Alwi. They're chasing after Kuro. Not to mention the rest of them. And Kuro turns around. He actually stole Stormbolt, put down the sentry ward, hoping that Alwi would continue the chase, but he does not do so.
The Stormhammer steal there from Kuro is what won that fight. Being able to throw it out onto the Sven and also hit the clockwork at the same time gave them that extra kill that wins the fight. As it is, once again, both of these teams rotating around quite early on just because of the draft and maybe just because of the meta we're seeing in this current tournament, but so much of that 10 to 20 minute marker is very important to try and win. So we're seeing a lot of rotations. Not many heroes are actually just AFK farming as we would see maybe in just so much as 2 months ago. The only one who's really doing that would be Arteezy, and obviously that's just the job of an Anti-Mage, just to try and get that Battle Fury as quick as possible.
Yeah, but the difference is between like what you're talking about, game number 1 and game number 2, we saw all the rotations, but there weren't that many engagements. It was always just holding back until there was probably one of the big fights, but there's a lot more kill potential with the heroes in this game. Hence we have 12 kills within a space of 11 minutes. So we've actually had more death and destruction within the first, well, 11 minutes of this game than we probably have if you combine up both game number 1 and game number 2. But the trade-off is buildings are still alive. We're 11 minutes in and only 1 tier 1 tower is dropped. Universe moving forward. S4, he sees him. The dust will trigger. Zai expecting that Alwi was on top of him, but it's not the case. They leave an observer ward behind. Meanwhile, Kuro is having some fun with PPD on the bottom lane. The double TPs are coming in, and Kuro gotta be careful. That's Samal with BTs up. Lays up with a Stormbolt. He'll get it off with a telekinesis, but Kuro knew he was dead. It would be an Illuminate more. Samal probably should be there for the Illuminate to hit. Meanwhile, goes for the Requiem itself. Back in the wall. Alwi's low. Mana Void from Arteezy. Finds a kill, and Fear so low. Arteezy blinks 1 second away, but the heal will be keeping him alive. That's Fear running away. The Dazzle Weave was also having an effect, so it's high armor to get through. Clockwork, Universe was having a look at Arteezy, but didn't want to go any further.
Yeah, I love the fact that Arteezy was actually willing to make that rotation, because at this point you want to make sure that evil geniuses do not find too many pickoffs and don't go unpunished for trying to go for those early track gold kills. So I love the fact he was willing to actually rotate around despite the fact that he hasn't actually finished up the Battle Fury just yet. Counter ward and wards being placed, but Universe is snatched Puppey.
Yeah, they pick him up, throw him out, that gets him out of the cogs, but Puppey still being pushed out and then heal bombed. It is the Universe who does find the kill, and that's going to help him get that blading up very, very quickly. And while all this is going on, Samel's already picked up his BTs, Soul Ring, Bottle, Null Talisman, everything a good Tinker needs, but he's also got 1900 gold. This Blink Dagger is going to start to come up, and as far as chasing a very high maneuverable Tinker, Secret don't really have great abilities for this.
Because what are you going to get? You got Blink Anti-Mage. He's not going to be able to chase the Tinker when he can rearm his own Blink Dagger. Surges, Illuminates, Blinding Light. Like, there's a couple of things here and there, but nothing really chases over a distance.
Yeah, the Blinding Light later on to the game will definitely be a very critical factor. But the same problems when it comes to catching out the Tinker on the side of Team Secret also happens with EG and trying to catch out Arteezy's Anti-Mage, right? They actually do not have that much lockdown. Clockwork isn't particularly strong there. It's namely just the Sven Stormhammer that's your longest duration stun to control that Anti-Mage. So Fear really needs to get ahead in farm, and he's already felt a lot of pressure that has kept his net worth right around the middle of these 10 players.
Which is not where he wants to be. He wants to have that Mask of Madness, go into the BKB, be a huge warrior during the fights. But he's not getting it at the moment. Dire Observer ward down by Kuro. The amount of wards that have been killed off during this game is unbelievable. He de-warded that EG's ward, which is looking on the other side of the tree line, so that understand who is attacking and how many of them are attacking into that tier 1 tower on bot. And they realize, okay, we have no vision. They probably have it themselves. We're not going to find a kill on bot lane. So instead, rotate up. Maybe find a kill on S4, but it's exactly the same time as he moves into his jungle. Everyone goes missing, and Secret just holds defensively.
Yeah, I said early on that Fear could have a really good game as this Sven, because I feel like the Sven is a pretty good carry versus both the SF as well as the Anti-Mage. You've got yourself at least a disabled.
Oh, they know where he is. S4 and right on top of him. Now they start with a weave, but already the recall's coming with a hook shot in from Universe. They can't pull him in time. S4 being cogged up, pulled down, and brought down. 36 seconds on the sideline, but the trade-off will be the tier 1 tower on bottom lane. Well, I'd say that if the creep wave could survive through the March of the Machines of Sumail, and maybe even Arteezy. Yep, there's your Blink Dagger up from Sumail. Arteezy in the trees, just trying to stay hidden for the moment. He got a 13-minute battle fury. He's already starting into the same build he did previously, and that's the Vladimir's offering.
Yeah, look what Arteezy is doing. He's using the battle fury, which does have that active now to be able to eat through trees. If he actually finds somehow the Tinker, he can control him and easily take him out.
Okay. I was about to say track kill, but Aoi didn't go in with a Shuri toss as well, so Fear didn't have time to get in range for the Stormbolt. It looks like that's what he was committing to after triggering the war cry. And they still take the tier 1 tower, EG. 9-7. There's not much in this. Under 2,000 gold, as well as experience the difference between the teams. S4 saw the TP down the bottom lane. He's just trying to force it. Take out the creep wave, beat into the tower, but the rocket spam as well as taking damage from the tower is not a healthy way for S4 to do this push. And in fact, now with the Clockwork rocket coming in, Universe is hook shots out of range. You can't reach anyone from Secret. And the Observe ward's also watching most of the movement from EG.
Note that the more popular builds of SFs nowadays, which is Mech BKB, is actually being surpassed here from S4 with Eul Scepter. Eul Scepter does a couple of different things for you. First of all, Eul Scepter will help a little bit to deal with the Clockwork Blade Mail that has been picked up. Obviously, Mech and BKB would do that too. I think the most notable factor, though, is going to be picking off the Tinker. This actually allows the SF to potentially solo out this Tinker multiple times. If he gets a Blink Dagger, catches him, Mules, obviously the Shadow Requiem is going to do most of the damage on Tinker. It pretty much eliminates him right there. That could be a really good way for them to hunt him down. SF on one side, Anti-Mage on the other, and just look for that opening on the Tinker, who you know is going to be split pushing these lanes.
I want to watch Puppey too. You talk about Tinker also split pushing. When does this Aghanims arrive? 1,200 goals on Puppey. Do you just try and rush for the Aghanims in this game? Or do you think, okay, I need to go utility items. I need a 4-staff up against someone like a Clockwork?
I don't think a 4-staff would be bad for being able to save your allies. I would actually...
Wow!
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
That was a little bit off. Misses the hook shot and then gives the hook shot over to Kuro.
Yeah, you can't afford to make those kind of errors just because the track gold obviously makes that kill worth so much more. And then on top of that, we're talking about the potential Aghanims or what have you for the Keeper of the Light. Shutting down his farm is not the most paramount thing for Evil Geniuses.
Kuro is still tracked up on the back lines, and S4 moves forward. Well, he sees the EG Kuro moving forward, and Fear, Stormbolt, maybe he can kill off Kuro with one swipe, two. Okay, that'll do it. With the rocket also helping out. S4's on the run, but Fear moving so quickly back behind that tier 2 tower. Stormbolt in 4 seconds time. A little bit too far away, but the rockets still come in. S4, and the regeneration soon to go down, but Puppey. Now he's in trouble with a Stormbolt connecting on both. They've got the movement speed because of the track. The 4-2-1, and Arteezy's joined the fight. They're back into a 3-man wall, and the Allion 18 HP. The illusion from Darkseid will get the kill. Shamail try and dodge as much as he possibly can around the tree lines. The surge is up. PT building out between the trees, and oh no! Arteezy finding the mark, finding another kill, going 3 for 1 on this Anti-Mage.
That was all side, though. That could have been such a better engagement if Arteezy had actually used his opponent there.
He's going for Universe, burning off the map, taking a lot of damage as well to do it because the Blade Arbor blinks up, looking to chase, but doesn't want to go too far. Dazzle is right behind him.
So essentially, Zai came in and hit that 3-man vacuum. That was an excellent opportunity. He was trying to set up Arteezy for a mana void. If he'd actually mana voided all 3 of them with putting it on, I think the Tinker probably had about half mana. Would have done a sizable amount of damage, killing 2 probably almost instantly, and then they could have chased down the Sven as well. Still, though, an excellent fight for Team Secret as Evil Geniuses just simply get a little bit too overly aggressive, trying to use that movement speed advantage of the track to chase down multiple heroes while they're deep into the tier 2 tower area.
Man, they can get really punished for this too, because with this kill, well, with the multiple kills, Arteezy now has a Blade of Alacrity. This Yash is going to be coming up a lot quicker. In fact, he does pick up the Band of Elskin and almost has enough money to finish the full Yash up. But Keeper of the Light, as having all the space in the world to farm up in the jungle, he's got 1200 gold after picking up the point booster, and even Kuro, he's still walking around with arcane boots. He stole Shadow Wave from PPD and doesn't even really need a Blink Dagger. Even the way he stole that Shadow Wave, Zai surges him in so he can get in range to get the steal. You keep the creep waves up, you keep your teammates alive, and you have many options as far as Secret's initiation goes. But initiation just got better for EG. A Blink Dagger is now on their spend, and they instantly move into a smoke with PPD.
Yeah, pretty much a necessity if you want to be able to lock down this Anti-Mage a bit better. So the blink in, the preemptive God Strength if they're trying to gank the
Smoke,
Anti-Mage.
where's the dust? S4. Oh. The smoke broke, he triggered the dust, but Aoi ran up the river. They saw him because the Dire Observer Ward actually saw him redo the Ghost Walk in the river, but they have no detection. Actually, yes, they do. They send you well from Kuro. Pick him up, throw him down. Kuro will take the kill very quickly. That was the Fade Bolt, the Shadow Wave going to work.
That was an amazing Houdini maneuver from AUI, who simply disappeared from those mass nukes from Secret, and now they're going to utilize this position. Try and do Roshan, though. I don't think this is a play they can make. It's just a bit too risky this early on into the game.
Yeah, with the hook shots and the ability just for March of the Machines to lock you inside the pit, it's too dangerous. So they just back it up. And they don't have to take the risk. Remember, Arteezy is now level 16.5. He is just ripping through this lineup. Well, there's your hook shot going on the middle lane. It's Universe. He's in there with Zai and Kuro with the heal. That's doing some nice return damage. Talent's is dragged back and Sun into fear. Even Stormfall being stolen. Hitting in to that poor Sven who cannot keep up. And Zai on 93 life running back in. Maybe he can survive. The track is on him. Okay, he will not survive. Down for the count. The Rockets are also scouting out Poppy, but no hook shot above. Fear triggers the war cry. They want to dive underneath the tier 2 tower. Universe can take quite a hefty amount. Goes for the Illumine. Any kind of damage he can do. And S4 lining up the Requiem of Souls. Not really in range, but then again with the raids on the Fear. Universe is still in the trees. Fear one attack will get the kill. He fleets forward. The Kuro is waiting for him. Gets a stun on Aoi and actually steals Shuri Toss. Well, he already threw it. I mean, doesn't have mana for it. So Arteezy can't find any opening. In fact, Aoi kind of hopes that Clockwork can fire a rocket to help him out, but that's from one side of the map to the other. Won't work. End of the engagement.
But there it is, still Vlad's Battle Fury, Yasha, soon to be the Manta style picked up from Arteezy. I simply feel like the rest of Evil Geniuses didn't manage to take enough of a lead to be able to shut down this Anti-Mage entirely, so now they have to kind of play for late game. They can get some small skirmishes going through Arteezy.
Universe having a crack at it, battery assault, nice cold pushback. They're still mana though, for a quick blink away, and then TP as well.
They're really hoping that Anti-Mage would blink over the river into the hands of AUI, unfortunately. Instead, he blinked into the Roshan pit and TP'd out. Smart play from Arteezy.
Well, for now, Arteezy still very happy with his position. Stays alive, doesn't delay the mana style of his. But Aoi is finding a lot of openings. They're just not being able to capitalize really on it. And PPD can't really help him out either. This guy's got a magic wand as well as arcane boots. In saying that, okay, there's the rest of his items. I'm like, wait, I'm sure he owns more than what he's got. And that's why the cloak arrives in with the extra consumables. But he's level 11 on this Dazzle.
You know, I was going to talk about Sumail and his item choices here. Early on, I was going to ask whether he needs to go for a Scythe of Ice here in order to control that Anti-Mage, or can he go for a little bit of burst damage first? It all kind of depends on how far ahead your Tinker is early on. He went for the Dagon, but he's not going to finish it up and try and go for Dagon 5. It's unnecessary. Instead, now I believe he's going back for the Scythe of Ice in order to try and control AM.
if he can do it. But at the same time, then he has to jump and instantly get that Hex off before Arteezy was able to work his way into a BKB. Because that might be his, well, it will be his later game kind of approach to have that long duration BKB. Manda for now. In fact, Arteezy just having a great old time. We have seen this before. He moves all through the Radiant jungle, takes as much of their farm as possible, skips out every single creep wave he possibly can. And, well, there's your blink away. Still going to have that missed chance on him. But he's got the pull behind. It's Zai, but there's your hook shot. It's got it back here, but it's pretty close. And he actually blinks himself away. The spell was this time, and Zai sacrificed himself for the greater Anti-Mage, who gets recalled back out to Puppey. That is a worthy sacrifice.
That was just a half a second between Arteezy being able to get away from that Storm Hammer and it actually landing and him blowing up, and that would have been a critical pick-off. Them shutting down his net worth, that actually would have then jumped the Tinker ahead in the net worth board. Sumail's doing an excellent job keeping up with Arteezy. He can't obviously jungle nearly as efficiently, but he's still keeping the side lanes pushed hard enough that he is getting the necessary late game items to counter this Anti-Mage. Team Secret are going to reach a certain critical tipping point where using the Anti-Mage as a sort of 5 or 6 slotted carry, they kind of have to go all in and try and finish the game before the Tinker gets too big. But Tinker is rapidly putting a timer on Team Secret, I feel, with the amount of net worth he's picking up.
So I'm wondering just how long that time is going to go. The split push is not bad, but getting into the high ground of Secret is not easy. And while Secret have been able to hold on to quite a fair amount of towers, they're finding more pick-off potential. Like S4 blinks himself away from that little bottom Secret shot, and they recall in. They want to try and fight this one. Where's your surge? Kuro has it, but he cannot get close enough to find an opening. They put down sentry wards, hoping they find the bounty hunter there. But it's just not to be the case.
S4, who just picked up the blink
middle lane,
side
jump
shot.
in, Arteezy, nope. I thought he might have a little bit of control and go for the mana style burn off into the mana void, but Universe is fine. Triggers the Blade Val, is very, very happy with life.
Now the utility, the 4 staff available for Universe as well. If you can actually get it, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there is a certain 4 staff plays you can make against really mobile blinking heroes like the Anti-Mage. Essentially, you hook shot, you try and wrap yourself around to the front side of the Anti-Mage, cog push him backwards, and then offensively 4 staff him to push him into the cogs again.
He's coming for PPD. The Iron Shell's over on Arteezy. The burn's going to be real. And Dazzle, well, he'll just run himself away to safety. There's more support. Hook shot is from Universe again. Zai surged up. Anti-Mage is still in the neighborhood. Has those mana star illusions, but you'll now trigger. Starts burning off the mana there of Universe. And again, EG are forced to fall back. There's just 2 heroes moving around while S4's in the jungle farming, and Puppey is also getting closer and closer towards this Aghanim Deftacodal. And that's also going to help out during daytime. See if you can find the Tinker while he's in the tree. Spear, you'll scepter up, Puppey, bring in help, and it's going to be Kuro, and Fierce, you're dead.
The first real big pickoff of the S4, Blink Dagger and Yule Scepter going into work. And this will allow them to probably take down this Tier 1 tower. Tinker is excellent at being able to defend Tier 1s early on, but with a pickoff like their Sven going down, it just seems unlikely they're going to be able to hold.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Team Secret actually take the opportunity to just spread out and farm. You see the Ancients cleared through by S4 already. Arteezy cutting that top wave as well. They're just trying to keep up as much map pressure on EG as possible.
And how long is it going to be before Sven can 100% hit in to the Anti-Mage? He's just picked up the Talisman of Evasion. He doesn't have to finish the full butterfly, it's just having that evasion, while Sven doesn't even have a BKB. They jump down after Aoi. They've lost vision, however, and the Dire Sentry Ward just timed out, so Arteezy can't finish the job. All he needed was like 4 more seconds on that ward.
And there it is, the Aghanims from the Keeper of the Light. This is going to be insanely hard to deal with. The split push play and counterplay between the Tinker and then the Keeper of the Light and the Anti-Mage. They're going to be all over the map, but there's that Scythe of Ice. And now Tinker actually has some catching mechanisms, whereas before it was just the Anti-Mage and the S4 with the Yule Scepter that could have caught the Tinker. Now he's actually able to be offensive onto these heroes.
Anti-Mage really needs to find that BKB. If they can keep him Hex all the time and just pop off the magical damage, then Arteezy's in a hell of a lot of trouble.
Well, remember that Hex no longer removes, it no longer applies that break mechanic, right? So he's actually able to still keep the evasion. So going straight for the butterfly will still increase his survivability, but there is a certain amount of danger, right? Just because you're dodging hits when you're Scythe of Ice, you still have to think about the fact that he's going to be rearming you and perma-disabling you.
He could do that, and then you can add in Sven. And Sven doesn't have any kind of like immunity himself, but if Tinker can keep the control up, he can dish out the damage required. Looks like Secret again, they're going to come in for Roche. As, yep, they're just recalling him in. And that's going to be Arteezy brought back to the engagement. And EG, at least they're all alive this time around. But they're not really in position for it. Fear's too far away. And Roshan's dying too quickly. So this will be the Arteezy model.
And they haven't given anything up for it. I mean, a little bit of push at top lane, but that's quickly dealt.
Hook shot, that range is too far away. He's not going to make it. There's
no way they go for that fight. I mean, that would be a complete suicide play to try and basically steal Aegis and then instantly die again. Universe decides against that. Instead, they're going to try and push pressure up on the top lane where they're expecting a TP to defend.
And maybe they can find themselves the pickoff.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But here's the thing, Arteezy doesn't care about the top lane. Instead, he just goes straight for the tier 1 tower in middle. He says, you want that tier 1, you can have it. I'm going to trade your middle tier 1 tower, which is better for me anyway.
He actually blinked down to try and attack at a Universe. There's an Observer looking up, and now Anti-Mage takes a lot more damage. We're in extra control. The Cogs pushback. Laser, no mana for a Dagon. And Arteezy, Manasar blinks himself away. There's just a problem that Tinker who gets such an early Dagon and Scythe, but doesn't have a mana pool to support it.
That was such good timing there from Universe, throwing out the hook shot at the last half second of the Scythe device in order to make sure that there was another Scythe device follow-up from Sumail. Unfortunately, again, as you said, they just didn't have the mana to throw out all the next round of nukes to finish him off.
If they only had Carbon, they could have given mana. But for now, the Keeper of the Lies working against him and pushing into the tier 2 tower on bottom lane with the Anti-Mage. It's highly unlikely that EG can try and defend this. Even if they do get vision, they're out of position. You have an Anti-Mage at the front lines. You've actually got Greaves as well. And that's coming in from the darks here, and the tower's gone. Arteezy does too much damage, has an Arteezy model up his sleeve, and with 3,200 gold, actually, he's finished the full butterfly. He actually finished the full butterfly. Doesn't have extra money for it, but he doesn't care. He's got the Arteezy model, so immortality is still his.
Yeah, he's sitting at 668 gold per minute. The 6th slot in Anti-Mage is going to come in. I mean, he's actually already got the Aegis. He can't afford to get another item, so it might be Secret may just try and utilize this Aegis to take maybe a couple more of those tier 2 towers and hopefully limit the Tinker's mobility a bit more.
What do you think about Tinker actually buying up the level 2 Brews of Travel before going in for, well, anything else?
I'm completely fine with it because you know you're going to be seeing a lot of fights and you don't have any of those towers up. Creeps are maybe perhaps a bit unreliable to go to, so I am a big fan of the Boots of Travel level 2 early on the Tinker, simply because this allows you to be a lot more effective in early skirmishes.
I suppose will also help out when you got a bounty hunter, you just go directly to him. Or even the Clockwork who's walking around with an invis room but can't find any of Secret. Because they're mostly on top. With this Dire Observer Ward, they're still sitting on the cliff. Actually, I say that, it now times out. They had really good vision to go in from this tower. So it has to be redone by Puppy, who's coming down now. And in fact, he's recalling in the trips. The Radiant Tower, they should jump in from S4. Decent damage, enough to kill him. Well, it looks like it will be. Fear's down for the count. Now the tree line's high. Also, over Arteezy just pops the bounty as well as the Tinker and goes for more. The Cogs from Universe will keep him out, but the damage has already been done to both the tier 2 power as well as the heroes of EG.
Yeah, later on in the game, the Sacrifice constant control against the Anti-Mage is a counter to him in a way, but in this part of the game, Anti-Mage just trumps Tinker every single time. Once he starts throwing out some of that mana, a big mana void will instantly kill him.
Now the tier 3 tower almost gone. No fortification available for Evil Geniuses. They buy back over on this man. They want to try and hold Universe again with the cost push of the Anti-Mage, but he's still also got Aegis Immortal. Cora pick him up and Fear! Picked up in with the soul ball, flying it back up. He'll still end up dying, but for one cost, you actually lost Fear for 70 seconds. Arteezy is right in the face, jumped in for the double kill on the Dazzle. They will finish up the melee racks. The only lane they could go to is bottom because this tier 2 tower still survives in the mid, and backdoor regen will protect it. But they're going to push it anyway.
They feel so comfortable that they just leave S4 to that top lane to finish off that last ranks. They're even running through the tier 2, which they should take, but takes it in, trying to make play here.
He jumps in, Arteezy's already there. S4 moving the front lines once again. The Cogs pushing him back. Universe great positioning. And the Sumail as well as Aoi. 2 on the sideline again. It's a double man for EG. The void is big and Secret are shoving EG down into it. 2 games to 1 until EG beats denied. Once again here on the ESL on Frankfurt stage. Secret 1 win away from success.
Again, Secret just providing that constant pressure. The rotations out from them was beautiful. They set up enough room for Arteezy to start getting ahead.